So Trump talked about it, which was good to see, but they'll never address the real problem, at least not in the foreseeable future, unless some shit really changes. But, where's the statement about, hey, black community, hey, leaders of the black community, community organizers, politicians, clergy, teachers, Hollywood, all your black Hollywood stars and music stars. And where are you, motherfuckers? Where are you to say, wow, we really have gone over the fucking edge, off the rails. We are out of fucking control. That's what we need people like Trump and others to say to the black community. What are you doing? Why is this the way it is? And don't go off on the 200 years of fucking blah, blah, blah. Why in 2025 are you robbing, murdering with abandon, with just reckless abandon? They don't care. There's no rules. Just kill, rob. And then when someone calls you out, there's a bag full of excuses. Obviously, the slavery excuse, the oppression. We're harassed. The country is systemically racist. The legal system systemically racist. Police are hunting us. There's all that bullshit. And it is bullshit. That shit isn't happening. I must watch. Jesus. I'm trying to be realistic here. I'll say 25 to 30. 25 to 30 police body cam videos per day. And what I see are some of the most cordial police officers you can imagine. To a fault. They are being polite, cordial. Talk about patience. How would you like to blurt out the same thing 30 fucking times to somebody and have them completely ignore you, argue with you, not listen, just blathering over what you're trying to instruct them to do? That's them being afraid of the cops. And then you see the belligerent, angry, racist black person in the vehicle when they're getting pulled over or at an establishment that the management has called the police because they're causing a problem. And like I said, the patience of a saint police officers and some of the most angry, nasty, belligerent, violent racists are the black people that they're trying to get in control. And many of these instances that you see on these videos, the cops aren't going there, taser out, cuffs in the other hand, driving up, ready to make an arrest. They're going there, or when they pull over a car, they're not running to the window going, get out of the vehicle. It starts with the cops doing their job of trying to figure out what the fuck happened. What happened? We got called here. There seems to be a problem. And I'm now going to conduct my investigation to see what it is. They talk to the store management. They get that side of the story. They try to talk to the person that the management was complaining about to the police. And it escalates into an arrest, sometimes an arrest where there's resisting and violence involved, and the police need to use force. And they pull up only wanting to talk to both parties and see what happened. You don't get a name. No one has a fucking ID. Maybe the Democrats are right. Maybe the Democrats are right when they say we can't ask for ID in the voting booth because black people do not have IDs. And everyone goes, oh, that seems racist, saying that black people don't have IDs. And then you watch these videos and all you see are black people with no IDs. Could I get your license, registration, and proof of insurance, please? I ain't got my ID. I left it home. I was just running out to the store and I left my ID. Okay, what's your name? My name? You know, what's your date of birth? Date of birth? Yeah, date of birth. My new tech company, Date of Birth. Please go to the website. Whenever you pause and then ask again what they're asking for, you're obviously going to get a lie. And then they run it and come back and go, well, your name didn't come back. Have you ever had an ID anywhere on earth? Because your name would have come up. I don't know. It just, and they wind up having to arrest them. You show up, no intent to arrest somebody, investigating a complaint, and they wind up arresting people. And by the way, it rarely has anything to do with the initial complaint. Oh, the person was getting violent and belligerent in the store. They wanted more ketchup packets. So it's usually something of galactic import. Oh, ketchup packets. Well, that's a whole nother story. Let's get the manager in handcuffs over here. So, you didn't get enough ketchup packs, so you started throwing your food and perhaps feces at the people that work at the fast food establishment. And then the cops show up, and when you hear about what they're arrested for, it's never about, they threw food at the people that work there. It's failure to identify, resisting arrest, a warrant. They always have a warrant, giving a false name. Those are the things they haul them away for. It has nothing to do with the initial call. It's always like the car stops. It's never, well, he was arrested because we're very tough on the use of blinkers in this county. And he did not signal for a turn. So our policy is to pull him over and just rip him out of the car because, blinkers. No, it escalates because they refuse to obey the rules of a society that we all sat down over the course of centuries and hammered out and said, yeah, this is how we're going to live in our society by these rules, and we'll enact laws, and those laws, when broken, will have consequences. We've all agreed to this. And we've all, at some point, unless you have never been pulled over and issued a traffic summons, we've all had to pay the consequence of these rules that we have laid out to live amongst each other in a civil society. They refuse. They just refuse to abide by these rules that society has hammered out over a couple of centuries. And what the fuck are we going to do about it? What the fuck are we going to do about it? Bitch and complain. That hasn't worked very well. And the legal system, for how racist, systemically racist they say it is, the only examples I see of racism are against white people who get convicted and sentenced to unbelievable jail time for defending themselves, defending others on public transportation. We saw Daniel Penny just get away with his freedom in a trial. Thank God I never saw that coming, but it was refreshing. But now he's done for. No one's going to hire him, at least right now. Maybe sometime in the future when more people realize he was absolutely doing the right thing in subduing a mental patient on the train, because we saw what happens when people don't subdue mental patients, criminals, racists on a train. You end up having a beautiful girl bleed out without anyone on that train helping her. I will not play the clip. I've seen the clip. I will not play it on the show. I can assume that if you're watching this and you want to see it, feel free. It's available now. It's on X, everywhere, the entire video. It's a bunch of things. Heartbreaking, nauseating, anger-inducing to a level. And just, there's this feeling of helplessness when you watch it. I don't like seeing that. I don't like seeing some innocent anything. A puppy, a kitten. When you see these animals, savage animals causing harm to anything, any living thing when they're, believe me, two living things, technically, that are shooting at each other in a gang-related kerfuffle in Chicago. There isn't a shit small enough for me to give. And it's the innocent angle, the people that are just trying to go about their lives. This girl, Iryna, from Ukraine, left Ukraine. Her mom said she loved America. The State Department got in touch with her mother and spoke to her and said, they will fly Iryna's body back to Ukraine. And she said, no, Iryna loved America and she would want to be buried there. I mean, I can't imagine what the parents are thinking. Because, I have to assume every single person that wants to either immigrate to the United States, come here to go to school, be a refugee, if they're refugee status like the South Africans that came here, or even people on vacation from another country, white people. That's all I'm talking about here. White people that are coming from one country, a Western nation, or a place where you want refugee status from savages in your own country, or refugee status from a war, like Iryna. I can't imagine they aren't told before they leave, please be careful. We hear about what's going on in America with the guns, and that's probably what they tell them, because that's what the media pulls out of their ass. The guns and the news that people get overseas is that America is the Wild West. There's cowboys and their guns, and they're not being completely honest. It's black people with their guns and their knives. Zombie. It's that's the warning that should be going out to these people. And when the family gets the news that their loved one has been savagely killed by one of these animals, I can't imagine that they just go, oh, why did I let them go? Or why didn't I warn them more about who is going to be trying to do you harm? And can't imagine it. And, obviously it's inconsequential to the life of this girl, but she better get a send-off here in America. If she's going to be buried here in the United States, she better get a send-off that is 10 times what that lump of fuck George Floyd got, with his golden casket and his star-studded fucking musical numbers, and the mayor of Minneapolis weeping like a fucking pussy at the foot of the golden coffin of this drug-addled criminal lump of shit that died of an overdose, and not by a police officer who had the ungodly burden of trying to control an out-of-control criminal. That was his only crime. trying to control a violent criminal with techniques that were perfectly fine and given to him during training at the academy. And having that fuck die on your watch, and now you're in prison. Unbelievable. And they give this criminal asshole a funeral fit for a king. So this girl had better get an unbelievable send-off with politicians and entertainers and just a full church of concerned citizens that are voicing their opinion on the atrocities that are taking place, taking place against whites, perpetrated by blacks in the war, the race war that we are in right now. That's what I want to see. That's what I want to see. Eulogies delivered by politicians in high places, maybe Trump, and using that forum and that platform to enlighten some people as to what the fuck happened and why a young girl was butchered and she's laying in a box in front of everyone right now. That's what we need. I mean, look, I'm at least satisfied that something is being said about this. You know, lest anyone forget, this happened like 2 weeks ago. This story's been around for a couple of weeks now. We knew about it. We were talking about it. We were being factual as to why it's happened, who did it, the problems that we have with these motherfuckers in trying to live in a civil society with monsters roaming around. We were talking about it 2 weeks ago, right when it happened. And now, because of us, people that speak out about this kind of thing, I saw a great clip. It's like 12 minutes long. Nick Fuentes going off. One of the rare instances he wasn't talking about the Jews. He was going off on black people living in America with black people and the fact that, you know, we're done. We're just done. We don't want to live with people that are going to perhaps murder us. There's a chance. Look, there's a chance anyone can murder you. I get that. But when you do anything, don't you play the odds? Isn't everything you do in life playing the odds? When you pass a vehicle on the highway, you're playing the odds. Can I accelerate quickly enough to get in front of that car before I reach the back of the car that's in my lane? That's you're utilizing your senses, speed, distance, and you're working it through in your head. And what are the odds that I'm going to make it? Are they 90%? Is it 100%? I'm going to gas it and go. I don't know. This guy's speeding up a little bit. The odds are probably pretty low, so I'm going to have to back off past that guy. You're constantly doing that. Casinos, obviously, it's based on odds, but everything you do. You want to cheat on your wife? What are the odds I'm going to get away with it? I could lose my family. I could, have a little side piece. What are the odds? That's all you do during life is work out the odds. When they're in your favor, you decide to go for it. So if you want to hop on a train that only had black people in that car, you got to play the odds. You got to take every bit of information you have on whether you're going to be safe in that car. Who's committing the majority of the crimes on public transportation? Who is committing the most violent crimes? Do I want to sit amongst the very people that statistically commit these crimes? Now, I don't know them as individuals. I can't sit down and interview each person before I take a seat. I have to make a pretty fast judgment based on my statistical knowledge. And if you do that, you would realize that that car that she was in was not for you. Now, let's see, every car was like that. Now you got to work out another scenario. Where do I sit? Do I just leave the train next stop? Do I stand in a place where there's people that might help me? All of these things have to go through your mind. And it's not just a train, it's your neighborhood. Where do you live? Do you want more diversity in let's say you're living in a neighborhood right now that's predominantly white. And you hear liberals all the time talking about diversity and how it's great and it makes things better. And now let's say it's like a place like Minneapolis where you have this influx of Somalis coming in. Are you going to be happy with that? Are you going to look around and go, this is better for me? Or are you going to play the odds and look and go, the odds that crime is going to go up in my neighborhood now goes up? Well, that's racist. No, it's not. It's math. It's mathematics. It's percentages. It's per capita. It's all it is. It's math. Math is not racist, regardless of what Democrats and liberal teachers will tell you, because I've heard that one too. Math be racist. Even math classes are racist. I go off on a little tangent here, but I read a story. This is years ago. And they were trying to figure out why blacks didn't do as well in math class as other races, not just whites. There was an article that was written by some liberal douchebag that said the way math classes work is why. They never want to look at the horrifying reasons that it is. But the person that wrote the article said it's the structure of the classes, because white people who make the rules apparently have dictated that it's best for a math student if everyone comes in the classroom and sits down at a desk. Oh yeah, because sitting still and not being distraction to everyone else is some type of white thing. It's some white privilege, white supremacist thing. You should be able to just run around, swing from the fucking lights if you want to. It's math. And then being quiet. You know, you're in math class. You don't talk. You don't speak out. If you do have something to say to the teacher, you would raise your hand, and that's how you communicate. And what you're going to be talking about is the math that you're working on, not what we do in Friday, or that motherfucker, or this bitch, or my switch on my Glock. But the person that wrote this article said this type of restriction that you're putting on black people, these restrictions that are such white privilege and white Eurocentric ways of doing things, that's why blacks aren't doing well in math. The very thing that you need is silence, a lack of distraction. It is some hard shit. And to have someone just yapping nonsensical shit in a language you could barely make out, walking around, distracting people. But that seems to be why. That's got to be what it is, right? Can't be anything else. So when this girl came here, we need to inform people that there is a danger. And yeah, like I was saying, the odds, playing the odds. I don't like when the odds are against me in Atlantic City or Vegas. Every game you play in Vegas, the odds are against you. Blackjack, odds are against you. Baccarat, I think, is the closest you're going to get to 50-50, but it's still against you. Would you be willing to play a hand of blackjack if your life depended on it? Your very life. You lose. You bust. You get a 17, the dealer's got an 18. You get murdered there. If you win, all you win is the money you bet, by the way. You don't get billions of dollars. It's your bet. What'd you bet, $50? If you win, I'm going to give you $50 and your initial 50. There's $100. Congrats. You lose, you're going to be murdered. Would you play those odds? I wouldn't. I think your odds are better to be at the very least, robbed, assaulted on a train or any public transportation in these horrible blue Democrat cities. Why would you play those odds? Stay away. Tell everyone, just stay away. And if you are one of those people that are afraid of offending someone, if you're afraid that moving to another car, slapping down a lock on your car if you drive an old car, not getting on an elevator. I love the idea, they're still under this impression that aware white people, they call them bigoted and racist, but these are aware white people that are aware of the crimes and the statistics. It's like a shark attack. If you're not in the water, you're not going to get attacked by a shark. So, clutch your purse. What's that going to do? That's so 1950s. In 2025, you have to physically remove yourself from the proximity of people that are statistically more apt to fuck you up. Sorry. And I was saying something to this effect yesterday. I hate that is a thing. I hate that we have to do that. First of all, it's an inconvenience. Now I got to wait for another fuck elevator. It's inconvenient. And why did you fucking put me in a position where I now have to look out for roving monsters on the street? That's on you, motherfucker. That's on you. You made me have to feel like this. You made me have to have hate in my heart and look suspiciously at a single person in your community. Because as a community, you can't fucking control yourselves. So I have to play the odds and put them into my favor in some way, shape, or form when I go out every day like that. It's dangerous enough out there. There's enough shit going on. Enough fucking whirring gears and fucking planes and cars and trees falling on people. There's plenty of shit going on out there. Now we got to walk around and look at a group of people and go, oh, fuck. Yeah, I'm not doing that. Has anyone attempted to visit a water park in the last 20 fuck years? It is like they built a water park in a prison yard. Well, the yard wasn't really entertaining the prisoners. They were shanking each other. And we figured we'd do something more interesting and fun for the prisoners. So we built them a water park. Yeah, no, it's open to everyone. Come on in. Bring your kids. I watch a lot of videos, like I've told you, the body cam videos, but there are also cell phone videos from water parks and any really amusement park, county fairs. These are more bastions of crime. Young black people go to these things and fuck it up to no end. Stealing, knocking shit over, assaulting people. The parking lots sometimes end up being a good shootout in the parking lot in between smash and grabs. And do I have to go on? Do I have to fucking go on? And I'm called racist for pointing this out. I'm a racist, by the way, for pointing this out. When a beautiful girl is murdered 2 weeks ago, and we're just starting to hear about it because the murderer was black and she was white, yeah, I'm going to talk about blacks. Did you ever imagine every single item in a CVS would be locked up? Everything. Gum. I want a pack of gum. Where's the key? Click, click. Here you go. What kind of dystopian fucking disaster did we allow ourselves to get into when they're locking up candy along with every other goddamn thing? And then you watch the videos of the thefts, and it's 3 black men or women just grabbing every fucking thing they can, putting it in bags, and walking out with impunity. And our solution is to lock everything up so we all have to fucking ask some 30 IQ CVS employee to run through a Rubik's Cube puzzle of trying to unlock a fucking lock. That was our solution. How easily did we just fucking give up? We can't solve the problems by putting the burden on ourselves, by taking blame and locking away shit that we would gladly, cordially take to the counter and pay for. We know who's doing this, yet we punish ourselves as the solution to the problem. It's fucking disgusting. Disgusting. So tired. Fatigue. Call it black fatigue. It's a real thing. And you want to call me racist, you want to post shit, at least do one thing. I'll just ask one thing of you. Make a note and post one fucking thing I lied about during this particular segment. Post one thing that I said that isn't backed up by facts, that I am lying about, that I am being racist about in the way I'm talking about these situations that we are now forced to live in. Just pick something out and go, here, Antony, I heard your challenge to me today, and here is the clip, or here is the text, or a transcript of what you blatantly lied about for no other reason than you're a racist and you are trying to get people riled up about black people with your racism. Do that, because I assure you, you will not find one fucking word that I said during this past segment that isn't 100% true, 100% backed up by facts, statistics, past performance. That's all I ask for. And then you can post your shit about how horribly racist I am. Who gives a shit?